Hey guys, it's Mrs. Sassetta. I wanted to show you how to complete your assignment for February 2nd or February the 3rd. This is called the Mineral Identification Lab. So you're looking for the date either 202 or 203, Mineral Identification Lab. The first thing you need to do is actually enroll in my Gizmo so you can do the lab. So it says today we're going to complete the online lab and identify minerals by making observations, calculating density, and conducting various tests such as hardness and streak. So the first thing we're going to do is open up our attached Google Doc. It should have your name on there. You're going to need this open to complete your assignment. So keep this open and to the side. The second thing you need open is the link, Explore Learning Gizmo. This is the link to the online lab. But you are not enrolled or registered yet, so I'm going to show you how to do that. You have some login information right here to help guide you. So if you didn't already go to Gizmos, you could just click here and that will take you to the Gizmos website. And it says click on enroll and login. So I circled it right here for you. You need to click on the login and enroll. Once you click on the login and enroll, this will pop up. It will ask you for a username or password to log in, but you do not have a username and password yet. You need to enroll in my class. So I circled this right here. Student, class enrollment, you need to enter a class code and then hit enroll. So depending on what class you're in, so if you're in second period, you're going to type in the code FDQVKQ. It has to be in all capitals. So make sure you pick your correct period and then type in the code in all capitals. So seventh period is C576TZ, all caps. Then you're going to hit the enroll button. Once you've hit the enroll button, you'll see there is two options. I already have an account, or I need to create an account. And I circled the green one. You're going to hit the green button. I need to create an account. Once you've clicked that button, it's going to ask you to fill out personal information. So your first name, your last name, your full email address, your school email address with the @stu.neasd.net. And then create your account login. You're going to use your regular username for Skyward right here. So that would be like the first letter of your first name, your last name, and then there's 4 numbers. Then you'll do your password for Skyward, and then the same password again. Once you are logged in, you'll see a list of labs. So once you're logged in, you'll see a list of labs. You're going to click on the bottom lab. It's called Mineral Identification. You're going to go ahead and launch that. Launch Gizmo. So this is when you're going to need your Google Doc. The Google Doc guides you through the steps. So you're going to have to read along carefully. So I'll show you how to do sample A, and then you do the rest of the samples independently. So it says here directions. I'm going to zoom into that. It says directions. Follow the instructions to go through the simulation, respond to questions and prompts in the orange boxes. So you're going to write your answers in these orange boxes next to the questions. So we're going to do determining density first. It says a mineral is a naturally formed crystal. You can identify a mineral by its properties. In the Mineral Identification Gizmo, under Choose Property to Test, select Density. So we're going to go over to the lab. We're going to click Density. Go back. It says mass. Number 1, mass is the amount of substance in an object. Drag the mineral onto the balance. What is the mass in grams? So you grab your mineral, you put it on the balance, and that gives you a mass. So that's 36.4. So you're going to go over here and type in 36.4 grams. Now it says volume. Volume is the amount of space an object takes up. The volume is measured by how much the water rises in a cylinder. Drag the mineral into the cylinder. What is the volume of the mineral in milliliters? So you grab it and you put it into the water, not above, or it will fly away. It needs to be in the water. Then you'll see above that, it says 14 milliliters, so that's your volume. So you go 14 milliliters. Now you're going to calculate the density. Density is a measure of how light or heavy an object is. To find the density, divide the mass by the volume. So you have the density, you have the mass, 36.4, you have the volume, 14, and so now you're going to use that information to calculate density. So you can look up a calculator. So now you have 36.4 divided by 14, 36.4 divided by 14, which gives you 2.6. So we're going to go here and do 2.6 grams per milliliter, and that would be your density. So now we're going to start activity A. You're going to go and select appearance. Make sure you're on sample A. So go over here, appearance, I'm on sample A. So now it says observe. So you've selected appearance, we're on sample A. Now it says number 1, observe. Minerals are made of atoms in repeating patterns and often form crystals. The shapes of the crystals can help identify the mineral. Luster is the way the mineral's surface reflects light. There are many ways to describe luster. 4 examples are shown. Color can sometimes be a useful way to identify a mineral, but it is not always reliable. So now you're going to describe the shape of sample A. So you hold up the sample, and you're going to decide which one of these is most like the mineral. So I think it looks irregular for the shape. The color to me is white. You hold it up, it's not metallic, it's more like a glassy or pearly. I think it's more glassy and irregular. So we're going to go over here. The shape of it is irregular. The color was white. The luster was glassy. We already calculated the density. That's the first thing we did, and it was 2.6 grams per milliliter for density. So it says calculate the density for sample A. We already did that, 2.6 grams per milliliter. And then number 3, you're going to measure the hardness. So it says select the hardness test. So we're going to flip over to hardness. We're always staying on sample A though. We're still on sample A. So hardness is a measure of how easily a mineral can be scratched. It is measured on a scale of 1 to 10 called Mohs scale. If a mineral scratches a fingernail, a hardness of 2.5, but not a penny, a hardness of 3.5, its hardness is about 3. So A, you're going to drag each mineral, you're going to drag the mineral across each test object, and then you're going to write which objects are scratched. So grab your mineral, run it across the fingernail, run it across the penny, and we see that we're scratching it. We're scratching the glass, we're scratching the steel plate. So if my mineral can scratch a steel plate, which is a hardness of 6.5, my mineral has to be harder than 6.5. And so it's most likely a 7. So it says which objects are scratched. Well, all of them were scratched. What is the estimated hardness? So it has to be above 6.5 because it scratched the plate, the steel plate, which is 6.5. So we're going to estimate that it's a 7. Now you're going to observe the streak. So you're going to select a streak test. A streak is different than a scratch. So your scratch test, you're actually making an indentation in the plate. So our hardness test is different because you're scratching the fingernail, you're leaving an indentation in the plate or the steel or the fingernail or the penny. Now a streak test, you're not actually leaving an indentation, you're leaving a streak of powder. So kind of like when you're outside, you could get a rock and draw on the sidewalk sometimes because it leaves powder behind. So we're going to see if this rock leaves powder behind. So you grab the rock and you run it across the streak plate, but it does not leave a powder. So here it says, what color is the streak? We're going to write no streak. And then I want you to notice down here it says, if the mineral is harder than the streak plate, 6.5, it won't leave a streak. and we just wrote down that our hardness was above 6.5, about a 7, and so we should not expect it to streak. Okay, number 5, observe, select the acid test. Some minerals cause hydrochloric acid to bubble and fizz. Drag the eyedropper of acid over to the mineral. Does the acid fizz? So we're going to acid test, that's our last test. Hold it above the rock. It does not fizz. I'll show you what it looks like when it does fizz. This rock fizzes. So sample A, it does not have a reaction, it's not fizzing. So it says, does the acid fizz? No, it does not. Now it says it's time to identify the mineral. Look at your mineral key. Find a mineral that has the properties that match sample A, and then type the name under the mineral name in Gizmo and press submit. It may take several guesses to get it right. So here's where you're going to type the mineral name to see if you're correct. And your mineral key, you need to use your mineral key. So if you slide all the way down to page 4, you'll see a mineral key. So this is how you use the key. You need to decide if the mineral is metallic or non-metallic. You need to decide if it's light or dark, and then look at the density and the hardness first, and then after that check the other properties such as the shape, color, streak, and acid reaction to see if they match up. So we're going to look, our rock was not metallic. These are all metallic minerals, so we're not going to look at this box. These are non-metallic minerals that are dark, but our mineral was light, it was white, so it's not going to be in this box. So here we have non-metallic light colors, glassy, which was ours, so we had a white glassy. And so we're going to look for a mineral. These are the minerals. These are their shapes, the color, the density, hardness, streak, and if it had a reaction with the acid. So the first thing we're going to look at is density and hardness. So our density and our hardness of sample A, we're going to take a look. Our density was 2.6 and our hardness was about a 7. So we're looking on our key under non-metallic light colors for a density of 2.6. So this feldspar has a density of 2.6, kaolinite has a density of 2.6, and so does quartz. But now we need to check their hardness because we want a hardness that's above 6.5, should be around 7. So feldspar only has a hardness of 6, so that's not hard enough. The kaolinite only has a hardness of 2, and that's not hard enough. And then quartz, so quartz has a hardness of 7, and it has a density of 2.6. It's also glassy, irregular like we chose. It has no streak like we wrote down, and it does not react with the acid. So that means our answer for sample A is quartz. And to check, you just go here and you type in the name quartz, hit submit, and it will tell you if you're correct. And it says nice job. So now you can go back up, and put the name, which is quartz. So I did sample A with you. Your job is to do sample B. And you're going to start with the appearance test to fill out the table on page 3. So you're going to do samples B, C, D, E, and F. You're going to collect data first, collect their crystal shapes, their luster and color, their density, hardness, streak, and their reaction with the acid. Once you fill out this table, then you identify their names. And to check to see if you're right, you have to enter them in here and then hit submit, and that will tell you if you're correct or not. And just remember that you have to use this mineral key. If you have any questions or you're having trouble, make sure you comment or email me.